Good morning, and thank you so much for being here with us on Live Now from Fox. My name is Christy Larson, and we have some big news to report here to you today. Steve Bannon, a longtime ally of former President Donald Trump, he's been sentenced to serve 4 months behind bars after defying a subpoena that was from the House committee investigating the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. A judge allowed Bannon to stay free pending appeal and also imposed a fine of $6,500 as part of the sentence. Now, Bannon was convicted in July for 2 counts of contempt of Congress for refusing to sit for a deposition and the other for refusing to provide documents. U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols handed down the sentence after saying the law was clear that contempt of Congress is subject to a mandatory minimum sentence of at least 1 month behind bars. Bannon's lawyers had argued the judge could have sentenced him to probation. Instead, prosecutors had asked for Bannon to be sentenced to jail for 6 months. We do have live cameras staking outside of the courthouse. So we have 2 different areas that we have microphones set up. If we do get more remarks outside of these courthouses, of course, we'll be bringing it to you live. But I do want to just replay those short, brief remarks that we had coming from Steve Bannon himself, who had said, quote, "I respect the judge's sentence." So let's go ahead and re-listen into those remarks that were made just moments ago.
The constitutional issues involved in this case are very important, but Mr. Bannon never got to tell the reasons for his actions with respect to the subpoena, never got to tell his story because the government insisted from day one on prohibiting any mention, any evidence, or any discussion to go before the jury as to why Mr. Bannon reacted as he did to the subpoena on the advice of counsel. Thank you very much. Look forward to adjudicating the appeal.
Your silence was noteworthy during the case, Mr. Bannon.
His silence was in my direction.
Yeah. Hang on. I want to. By the way, I want to say one thing. I respect the judge. The sentence he came down with today is his decision. I fully respect. I've been totally respectful of this entire process on the legal side. I also want to make one other statement before I talk about a broader topic. More than any person in the Trump administration, I testified before the Mueller Commission for more hours. I testified in front of Chair Schiff and the House Intelligence Committee more than any other person in the Trump administration. I testified in front of the Senate Intelligence, I think more than any, all about the issues related to Russiagate and to all of that, okay? The same process every time. I had lawyers that were engaged. They worked through the issues of privilege, and at that time, I went and testified. And this thing about I'm above the law is an absolute and total lie. Now, more importantly, the judge, today was my judgment day by the judge, and he stated for the appeal, and we'll have a very vigorous appeals process. I've got a great legal team, and there'll be multiple areas of appeal. But, as that sign says right there, can we have the vote sign? On November 8th, on November 8th, there's going to have judgment on the illegitimate Biden regime, and quite frankly, Nancy Pelosi and the entire committee. And we know which way that's going. Either they've already been turfed out, like Liz Cheney, right, or have quit like Kinzinger and other the Democrats, or they're about to be beaten like Luria and others, or they will lose their power and become a minority, and Nancy Pelosi and Chairman Thompson, all of it. This is democracy. This is democracy. The American people are weighing and measuring what went on with the Justice Department and how they comported themselves. They're weighing and measuring that right now, and they will vote on November 8th. They will hang on. They will vote. Hang on. They will know. Can I go ahead and finish? Can I? Thanks. On November 8th, the American people will raise judgment, and we will broom. The Biden administration ends on the evening of the 8th of November. And some other thing is that the Department of Justice, Merrick Garland, will end up being the first Attorney General that's brought up on charges of impeachment, and he will be removed from office. Thank you very much.
So once again, some brief remarks from Steve Bannon himself following this sentencing. We still have more cameras outside of the courthouse. Of course, if we get more reaction following this sentencing of Steve Bannon, who was sentenced to 4 months for contempt, of course, we will be bringing it to you right here on Live Now from Fox.